Welcome back on Dynamod. Today I want to propose you a video about the spells of the Ossiarch Bonereapers, and this time it's about the specific spell Soulguide of the Mortisan Soulmason. This time I take my idea from an old model that I have, and this that it's a conversion about a librarian that I made for my Blood Angels, the Space Marine Army, with this that it's a sort of warping effect. This one I realized with a transparent one, but this is too flexible and it's not good because I want something that come out from here, and this piece, so something like this, so it was not suitable. So I decided to move to the paper card. So I'm doing something like I done for the Mortal Contract here, but instead of having such thing, I want to have that it goes out and this shaping like a portal. So I decided to combine different things that are the metal thread, so that I can a sort of pin, because I have needing something that keep this in position, so had to use or something like this more suitable because I can penetrate and make that it come out, shaping this, and these ones come from this piece that it's the thrower of the catapult of the Camry. So I hold the piece. I have only one of these, so I can't cut or can't find them anymore. So I decided to clone this, obviously on a base from this. And so I decided to create something like this, combining different things, because I want to create also another version. And this, it's the hand that it's floating with this that it's guiding. So a lot of different options to make the Soulguide, so that it seems that it's really in a different ways. So each type of Soulguide that I use, it's a bit different. So not everyone it's the same. And so I want to have a bit of fun creating such effect. The next thing to do is to design the size and the shape of the portal that I want to use. I leave only a tongue here to bend and to put on the base so that it's more stable when I do it. And then after that I cut the design that I made. I'll make it on this, blocking with some scotch or other things, so that I can cut the other one in the same shape, because I need that it's both sides, because if I want to use the thread that come out, I don't make it that thread visible, so I have to do it double side in such a way. And so here it's the piece that I cut out from here. I hold here so that it's possible to use as a pin to put this. Obviously I cut this so that it's more comfortable to put in, and I close this with this one, and then I put on the base. Sincerely, at the beginning I thought to reinforce this part quite a lot more, but I think that after having put here this one and maybe using something to create a bit better this rounding, it would be not so difficult to sustain, because it's anyway quite solid once that you combine these two paper cards together. But eventually you can think to reinforce with other threads and so on that come out from the base and put on here. So it's up to you to decide how you want to reinforce it, because it's simple anyway, but it depends how heavy it's these parts that you want to create something similar to this as project. So this is the effect that I want to come out from this type. So it's quite simple. Obviously I have to refine it with some flames that come out from here or other options. It's up to you to decide how you want to create modifiers on. It's something, an idea of one of the spells that I want to realize about the Soulguide. So I use a bit of Winaville or other things that it's similar one to glue the two parts together so that it's more solid, and I think that it's better than use Tartak to glue these paper cards together. And then I glue this to the base itself, obviously using again this. I reinforce then after, as usually, with some of the snow whatever layer to create the texture. So it's a simple one, but quite good at the end. Another spell that I prepare in the same way is to use something like this. Cut the hand here and create something like this. Then I'll go at this part with flames and so on to seem like really a hand that guide everything. So here are the two first spells of the Soulguide. So you can see quite different, but at the same time quite interesting. And so this one will be finished when I painted and sculpted the other things. Here I had to sculpt the flame on here and on the hand itself. Obviously I had to put before the snow valley and so on, and I had to start to prepare also the other two, at least two, and in a way are at the base ready, not to be put on the field, but as the concept, as idea, are ready. One thing that you have to remember when you prepare such things is not to be in a hurry, because you maybe can need more time and more sessions to prepare some things. For example, for this part of the Soulguide, I decided to create two different sets so that I have the hand that is like keeping out the flames that come out from the portal. Then I create here other flames that come out, but because if I manipulate this while I'm trying to create this, I ruin the flames that are here, and if I do before on the hands, if I manipulate, I risk to ruin these ones. So I decide to do the first step, that is to create the flames on the hand and the parts on the border here and so on. And this is a way to make that I'm able to keep this in position and to make the first steps, because then I want to add some other options here, some other details on flames and so on. So it's something that maybe you can seem that you have not completed, but not be in a hurry. Simply try to use everything that you need. If you need more time and do, for example, the first step, second step, third step, and so on, do it without any problem. Also here, it's almost complete and I done in a single place. But if you want, you can then, after you done the mainly first things, then correct and add other things. So not to be in a hurry again, and try to plan what you are going to need to make the result that you want to have. Here the plan about the third of the spell about the Soulguide for the Soulmasons. It's to take one of these that we have seen before, cut here so that I can bring it here, but so that it seems that it come out from the terrain. But I don't want simply come out from the terrain. I want to add the flames, so I want to use this, that is tinfoils, to create a sort of mound around and use the sculpting of the flame on it, flames that you can find in the video related. So it's similar to what I've done about this model that I made a video about. These are the models of Blood Bowl. So use the same trick simply applied on the flames, and so create something completely new and a bit different, but at the same time using all tricks applied again. So here it's the basic that I go to do. So I created this, that I make them as a mound, that I put this here after that I glue these parts. So I cover everything with the green stuff and add the flames that come out in different parts, so that similar to what I've done for the other parts of the spells that I've done about the Soulguide, similar to this, to take note, still applied to this, so it seems in a different way. It's up to you decide if you want to cut, for example, to create a vertical angle or an angled one, so you have to cut in the way that you prefer, because it's something that it's up to you decide how you want to do. So it's a sort of portal or a spell, but with a different inclination, so it's a different way to apply. To keep the hand in position, I use this that I bought in secondary market a lot of times ago, but it's perfect because it let me glue and keep the position that I want, letting the attack or the acrylic glue or something like you want to use without any problem to make that it's in the position that I need. At the end, I decided to put the snow overlay on the base. This caused two reasons. One, it was because the tinfoil that I used was not so, I can say, solid, so I thought that putting the green stuff on it would be not so great. And the second one, to give more mass and consolidate the part here, because it was not so great only using the attack, so I wanted something a bit more. Then to amplify again using the green stuff. Moreover, using such way, I can make that I have a more solid place where to put the green stuff to create the flames that will cover all the base for my idea. I have to see when I create the flames if it's really like I have in mind or had to change something. So it's a little change. As I said often, you have to plan what you're going to do, but you have also to be ready to change what you're going to do if you see something that it's better suited for the result that you have in mind. After some thought, I was missing the fourth of the Soulmason Soulguides, so I decided to clone another of the hands that we have seen before. I realized something similar to something that I yet realized, because at least two of them I think that it's not a problem if they are quite similar, because they will be anyway different. But I made different ones and the specs can be changed in the future, so I want to have something that can be used in a couple eventually for other options in the future, and at the same time having something that, for example, if I summon two of them, I can make a couple or make a variation based on the type of unit maybe. So it's something that I thought it was quite good. And yes, I had not so many ideas about have the fourth different ones. Oh, but I had, but they are not worth. I prefer to use those ideas for other specs and not for this one. Still, I think that it's okay to have two of the specs equally. I yet done three of them different each from the other one, so it's not a problem at the end. And so this is the fourth. As you can see, I maintained the idea that it's similar but different, and so I only need to do the green stuff also here and all the things that I started, so that I can then paint it and finally having these models ready for being used as soul guides. And here it's the version with the portal, and I really quite like. Here should be the part where I design with the painting a sort of vortex like here, but here I simply use this as a referral but not a main. So a flames that goes together and make such portal. Maybe it's not completely good that it's a little about a soul guide, but I like, and sincerely in the future I can use such one as idea for other things, so I'm not quite deluded about having created such thing, so I like, and sincerely if I can use as I thought, okay. If I want to use as something else, it's okay too, so not a problem, and I like the final result. So here are the final specs, the couple that I made, and really I like. As you can see, I played with the green stuff so that it seems that the flames are all around and they are coming out from the field itself. Here we have the one related about the portal. Maybe this could be improved a bit more, but I like as it is, so I'm okay, and the only thing to decide is how to paint it. And here it's the one that I used the master, the green stuff on, because I wanted really a sort of coming out from a flaming portal and so on, so I made such type. And I really like such ones. I only to decide the combination of way to paint them. I could do everything red because I have only a Soulmason available for now. So I'm really thinking about or to combine so that have two different colors on. I simply to decide, and you see quite soon because I have to paint them. Here we have the first pass about the Soulmason. At the end I decided to paint in a triple painting so that I was able to use with all the models that I can have for the Ossiarch Bonereapers eventually, but also for other armies if I need them. And they recall what it has been the Mystic Shield. So it's a simple one, but I really like quite a lot the final effect. Because as you can see, we have here the spells that are quite similar as concept, as you can see, but they are at the same time a bit different. So I really like a lot because there can be a couple to put some way to associate to a certain spell or so on without any trouble or so on. I make the violet a little less vibrant than the other ones because I want it to be a sort of medium and kept a bit the color so that to make result in the other two vibrant colors. So I really like, and also on the bases you can see the reflection of the different flames, so the blue, the violet, and the one here, the red yellow here, and I really like. Also this one, it's one of my favorite one because it perfectly suited what I had in mind, and I'm really quite glad. I had to use a bit of green stuff, but it is worth because I made the flames, and the flames themselves seems that approach and make a sort of portal that comes from the soul itself. So it's something that I pretty like. But my favorite is this one, that it's the portal. That the concept is quite simple, but I like how the final effect is. I had to paint a bit of optic effect with the color, as you can see, but I really like because it combines all the three colors in a way that I'm really glad about. As you can see, the spiral here it's opposite to the spiral here, so it's not the same, but it's a distortion, so it's okay. And I didn't want it to be the same from each side, but a sort of difference from what you see in the side on. So it's like a transmigration, so they traverse the spiral itself, and I really like the effect that you have with this. Also on the base you can see that I made the variation of colors, even if not so much, and so this is the final effect that made me really quite not proud but really glad about the final result that I'm having with this, and this technically no, this physically spell that I realized about the Ossiarch Bonereapers Soulmason Soulguide. Remember that about creating and painting the flames, you can find the videos in the description because I prefer to create specific video related about. So, from Dino Mode it's everything. I invite you to put a like on this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell, and to comment this video if you are interested in something about this video or you want to suggest me some arguments for other videos. I hope to see you again to the next time.